Hi, Ms. Morris. My name is Emily Strauss. I'm on the board of the League of Women Voters of Klamath County, and our organization is a nonpartisan group which focuses on voting rights, and voter participation. And so for this election cycle, this May primary cycle, we have been trying to contact all of the county commissioner candidates because we've decided to focus on this particular primary election. And so we appreciate you coming to talk to us. And there's 3 questions that we're going to ask, and we'll just talk about them briefly. And then that will be all we will have time for. I'd like to start, if you don't mind, just tell us who you are and what you're running for and why.
Happy to do that. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to connect both with you and with anyone who's watching. I'm Kelly Minty Morris. I am one of your current county commissioners and the board chair. I would really like to continue in this leadership role because Klamath has so much positive momentum right now. And I think it's really important to have somebody that already has the experience for sure, and also the connections and the understanding of sort of how to put pieces together to help continue moving us in a really positive direction. I'm finishing up my 2nd term. I have a background both in communication, journalism, business, and also in youth development. So I love being your county commissioner. I've gotten really involved in things like the Oregon Tech Board of Trustees. I was appointed to the Oregon Business Development Commission, the state's Alcohol and Drug Policy Commission, and many other opportunities to serve you, and I hope to continue doing so.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Actually, it ties right in with the first question that we're going to ask is your major goals for your upcoming term. So if you are elected, what would those be?
Well, Klamath has a lot of positive momentum right now, as I mentioned, but we also have a lot of work to do. There are some very big picture issues that are impacting the state and the country that impact us locally. I'm talking things like housing. I'm talking things like workforce development, making sure we have enough sober, healthy people to fill all the jobs we have. When I was first running for office several years ago, the mantra was always, we need jobs, we need jobs, we need jobs. Well, fortunately, a lot of that narrative has changed. We have a lot of jobs. We just don't always have the proper workforce to fill them. So I really want to continue doing work, for example, with Oregon Tech to help connect those students, get them to stay here, and then fill these jobs that we have. So I definitely want to help continue us on the economic development front, certainly the workforce front, and mental health. Mental health is a huge issue. We need to continue to do to connect the dots between the needs in our community and the resources we have. And I have been really successful at being a connector, and I would like to continue doing that.
Okay, well, thank you. I think that also ties in with our second question is, how would you work to increase transparency when allocating taxpayer money? So you're in your position, your group, your leadership team deals with a lot of finances, and the question is about transparency in allocating funding.
What I really appreciate about the current makeup of the board is that we've prioritized transparency in all our actions, particularly related to funding. For example, when we received American Rescue Plan money, there was not a prescribed process that was handed down from federal government on how we would allocate those funds. I made it very clear to the board that it was my intention, and I thought it was very important, that we're not only transparent in every single dollar that's spent, but we also include the public. So we were the first board across the state, and I don't know if others have decided to do this, that actually set up a public transparent process. We advertised for people to apply to allocate those resources with us. We set up an application process that was open to anyone. All the applications are considered public records that anyone can access. And then we did all those meetings streamed, and you can still watch them on YouTube to see how we allocated every single dollar that has to do with the American Rescue Plan. So for example, when I checked in with colleagues in another county, and I won't name that county, but a larger county, and I asked them, how are you allocating your American Rescue Plan dollars? We've already done ours. We set up this process. They said, we haven't even talked about how we're going to allocate ours, but it will just be our board making those decisions. So we have really taken transparency, and I credit my colleagues for also feeling that that is important. We've taken transparency to the next level, and we'll just continue to do so.
Well, it's interesting. I'm fairly new in the community, but this question implies that there may have been a lack of transparency in the past. Is that something that has occurred?
In all my time on the board, all the financial decision making has been very transparent. We're required to do all our business in public meeting anyway. That's a legal requirement. And we just go out of our way to try to not just meet the legal requirement, but do more. For example, in the last couple of years, we've started live streaming our meetings. You can join our meetings oftentimes via Zoom. Every single financial document can be of our budget each year, our annual budget can be viewed on the web. Now, granted, it's a big, complicated document. And sometimes I've had people say, you know, the budget is a really large, complicated document. Can you help us with it? We have our finance director sit one-on-one with citizens who are interested and help them make understanding of that document. So any maybe assertions in the past that things weren't very transparent or were maybe complicated, we've really worked to make things simpler. These are your dollars and you have every right to know how they're spent. And I take that very, very seriously.
Good. Okay. Thank you. Our third question deals with improving water issues and fire issues that have been exacerbated by the drought. We all are aware of these kind of issues. What kind of proposals do you want to put forth to improve this situation?
I've taken the leadership role on the issue related to dry domestic wells. I helped convene state partners to help us work through this issue. We have never in our time experienced so many dry and failing wells at one time in the Klamath Basin, only adding to our long history we know of issues related to water. I had previously said, and I sort of joke, that I'm the commissioner who doesn't want to do water. And now I'm the commissioner who definitely does water. Our water challenges continue. We need to be at the table. We all need to share, and we all need to do the best we can. Now, most people who understand the complexity of the water issues in the Klamath Basin also understand that most of that governing is done at the federal and state level, but I have opened myself up to be somebody to at least advocate on behalf of our citizens for some resolution on some of those issues. Related, you brought up fire, and I mentioned in the first question that we really have a lot of issues where we need to connect resources and needs with opportunities. And I think cleaning up our forests is one of them. We all know that, you know, we need not suffer through yet another smoky summer to understand that we need some different forest management practices that will help us not have our fires or have our forests simply burn up every summer. We need to get a handle on managing that better. Now, again, this isn't a county issue directly, but I make a point of being knowledgeable at the issue and being able to represent or advocate for the citizens of our county. We've got a lot of work ahead of us in the natural resource department, and it's really going to take leaders that are knowledgeable and have connections and networks to help get some of that very important work done. And I look forward to continuing to be in those conversations.
You are right, of course, that the federal land management, BLM land and national forest land is not a county issue. On the other hand, the county, it must coordinate, as you said, with these federal agencies. When you sit down at the table with them, what do you propose from the county level to assist them in their land management tasks?
At the county level, we often don't have resources to bring to the table in terms of financial resources, but we do have our own human ability to problem solve and be partners. And I think one thing that's really important that often gets overlooked is it's really not very productive to just sit there and blame people. So I always sit at the table as somebody who acknowledges that we're all humans. We're all doing the best we can each day, and we all want to solve problems. And I offer myself up as a problem solver and a connector.
Okay. So when you are talking about land management, water management, river management, farm management, irrigation management, how do you help bring all of these parties together? Because these are very complex natural resource issues, as you say.
When at stakeholder tables, I try to role model that we do all need to be working together. And I try to not add to narratives that are unhelpful about other stakeholders. So I am not a water law expert. I'm certainly not a forest management expert, but I do consider myself an expert at helping make people feel comfortable with speaking their truth and collaborating and understanding that at the end of the day, we're all going to be in this community together and we need to all work together.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time and wish you luck on your campaign. Thank you.
Thank you.